In this tutorial, you'll see where to download the software from, and then how to install and configure a Windows 2016 server acting as an Active Directory domain controller in VMware Workstation. I'm following along with the simple step-by-step instructions in my How to Build a NetApp Lab for Free ebook, which you can download for free from www.flackbox.com. The networks I'm going to connect to here and the IP addresses that I configure are for that NetApp lab, but it's really easy to adapt the instructions to suit whichever project you're working on. As usual, I'm working from the How to Build a NetApp ONTAP Lab PDF. And let's look at the lab topology diagram to see where these Windows servers are going to fit in. So we've got Win A, which has got IP address 172.23.4.1. It's in Department A. And we've got Win B with IP address 172.23.5.1, which is in Department B. So Win A is going to be the DNS server and domain controller for Department A. And Win B is going to be the DNS server and domain controller for Department B. In this video, I'll show you how to build Win A. We'll go through it step by step. And then once that's done, you can really just repeat it to build Win B as well. The section in the bookmarks to go to is down here, the Windows Server build. So I will follow along with the PDF while I'm showing you. So I'll just drag that over to my other monitor. Actually, let me drag it back again to show you. The first thing to do is to click on the link here, which will take us to the page to download the Windows Server 2016 evaluation. So I will click on that and allow that. And while that is loading, I will drag the PDF out of our way. Okay, so I'm on the page to download the evaluation for Windows Server 2016. It's a 180-day long evaluation, so that's pretty long. That gives you plenty of time to play about with everything in your ONTAP lab. If you do need it for longer than 180 days, then you can just build it as a new virtual machine again. Okay, so my evaluation file type that I want is an ISO file that I'm going to use to install it into VMware. I click on continue there, and then I need to enter my details here. You don't need to see me doing that, so I will pause the video while I fill in my details and then click on continue. Okay, so I filled in my details there. Then I select my language, English for me, and click on download. And I can now start downloading that ISO file. It's pretty big. It's over 6 gig in size. So I have actually downloaded it already. So I'll cancel the download here. And there you can see it's already in my downloads folder. Next thing I'm going to do is in the NetApp Lab folder, I'm going to create a new folder in there for my Win A virtual machine. I will call it Win A, and then I'm going to go back to my downloads folder and I'm going to drag the ISO image into that Win A folder that I just created. Now I'm ready to create the virtual machine. So I will open up VMware Workstation Player and then create a new virtual machine. Now, I'm not going to actually choose the installer disk image file ISO this time. For the Windows Server, I'm going to choose the option to, I will install the operating system later. And then click on Next. Then the guest operating system is going to be Microsoft Windows, and it is Windows Server 2016. There we go, in the middle. And then click on Next. The virtual machine name, I will call it Win A, and I'm going to save it in the Win A folder that I created earlier. So I'll browse down to the NetApp Lab folder, and then save it in WinA and click on Next. I'm going to store the virtual disk as a single file to keep things a bit tidier. Click on Next, and then I'm going to customize the hardware. The network adapter that is there right now, there's only one currently configured for NAT. I'm going to change that. That needs to be connected to VMnet 4 in the lab. And I also need to add a second network adapter to give internet connectivity so that I can activate the server. So I click on Add and then choose Network Adapter and Finish. And this second adapter is going to be set to Bridged. I want to tick the checkbox to replicate the physical connection state. And the adapter I want to make sure it's connected to is the adapter that is connected to the internet. So for me, that's my wireless adapter. I'm just going to check which one that is. So I will open up Control Panel and then go into the Network and Sharing Center and click on Change Adapter Settings. And for me, it's this one here, which is the Intel R Dual Band Wireless. So let's look for that again in VMware. So that was it there. So I uncheck the rest of them just to make sure that it binds to my internet connection and click on OK. I also need the virtual machine to boot up from the ISO file that we downloaded from the Microsoft website. So for that, I click on New CD and DVD, and then the option to use an ISO image file, and I'm going to browse to my NetApp Lab WinA folder. There's the ISO file that we used. And let me just check everything looks okay here. Yeah, first adapter is on VMnet 4, second adapter is on Bridged Automatic, and I'm set to connect it power on. Okay, I can click Close here now, and then Finish. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the virtual machine. Now, what I need to do is, as soon as I do this, I need to click into the virtual machine window, and I need to hit the key to boot from the CD, which is going to run through the Windows installation. So you'll see I need to be quick with this. So I click on Play Virtual Machine, and as soon as it comes up, I'm going to click in the window here and then hit a key to boot from CD or DVD. Okay, so I did select that. Then I can just close the software updates. I don't need to do updates right now. And I can see that the Windows installation is running. So I will maximize the window here. And it asks me what language I want to use. I'm happy using English US. I will click on Next. And then click on Install Now. So this will take a little while to do the installation. So I'll pause the video here until it asks me the first question. Okay, it's asking me the operating system I want to install. I want to go for Windows Server 2016 Standard Evaluation with Desktop Experience. And then click on Next. And it will think about that for a minute. It then gives me the license terms. Click the checkbox to accept those and click on Next again. Which type of installation do you want? I want the custom install. So I click on that. Then I'm happy with the drive allocation. I accept the default here and click Next. And then I can see that it's going to start installing Windows. This will take a while again. So I'll pause the video again and I'll come back when we're ready for the next step. Okay, the server has completed the installation and rebooted. It's now asking me to set an administrator password. So I'll set the password of FLACKBOX'S with a capital F. And then click Finish on there. And it's now finalized the settings. Okay, next thing I need to do is to send a Control-Alt-Delete to the virtual machine. So to do that, I need to break out here. So hit Control-Alt to get control of your mouse, and then go up to the player and click on Send Control-Alt-Delete, and then that's going to give you the logon window. And then click back in here and enter the password to log into Windows. So I'm going to create my user profile. So that will take a few seconds, and we see that it logs in. I'll say, yes, I do want it to be discoverable on the network. Server Manager will open by default. While that's opening, I'm going to click on Windows Explorer because it's configured a default computer name. I want to set my friendly computer name of WinA. So in Windows Explorer, I will right click on this PC and then go to Properties. And then in the properties, under the computer name, I'm going to click to change the settings there. And then to rename this computer or change its domain or workgroup, click change. I'll click change there. And the new computer name, I'm going to call it WinA. And I can just leave it in the workgroup for now because we'll be configuring this as a domain controller coming up in a minute anyway. And I click on OK there. And then it will think about it for a second. It's going to tell me I need to restart to apply these changes. I'll restart later. I click OK here and then close the window, and I'm going to restart later because there's a few more things that I want to do before we do the restart. Okay, let's see. The next thing that we've got to do is we are going to open up a run prompt. So clicking in here again, I'll hold down the Windows key and R. That opens up my run box, and I'm going to open up a command prompt in there. So that is CMD, if I can get the keyboard to work. Okay, CMD. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to activate the evaluation license. If you don't do this, then the server will reboot every hour, which is going to be really annoying when you're trying to do labs. And to do this, you need to have internet connectivity. That's why we'd configured that bridged adapter earlier. The command to activate Windows is slmgr space /rearm, and then click on OK or enter that. And okay, great, that's what we wanted. We can see that the command completed successfully. Please restart for the changes to take effect. So that's going to stop us from having our server rebooting every hour now. Okay, let me see what we need to do next. And then we're going to go and we can disable that internet connection now, because that was the one thing I needed it to be up for, was just to activate the Windows evaluation license. So I'll go back to Windows Explorer, right click on Network and go to Properties. And if you remember, it was the first adapter that was connected to the lab and the second adapter that was connected to the internet. So I'll go to Change Adapter Settings in here. Ethernet 0 is the lab adapter. Ethernet 1 is our adapter connected to the internet. I don't need that now. In fact, I actually have to disable it, or I'm going to have conflicts with network traffic trying to go into the lab and also out to the internet as well, which is going to cause issues. So I'm going to disable that Ethernet 1 adapter. If I ever need to connect to the internet again later, for example, to download some software, then I can re-enable that adapter again. So from now, always just leave one adapter enabled and one disabled at all times. If you do want to connect to the internet later, disable Ethernet 0 and then enable Ethernet 1, and then flip them back again when you're ready to work on the lab again. Okay, so that is my internet adapter is disabled now. I also need to set the IP address on Ethernet 0. Because I hadn't done this yet, that's why I was able to have two adapters live at the start. But from now on, always one adapter up and one adapter down. So I right click on Ethernet 0, which is going to connect to the lab, and click on Properties. And then I want to select Internet Protocol version 4, click on Properties there, and then select the radio button to use the following IP address. IP address here is going to be 172.23.4.1. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. And the default gateway is the wireless router at 172.23.4.254. And the DNS server is going to be this machine itself. So I'll enter its own IP address again of 172.23.4.1. That's my IP settings now configured on my network card. So I can click on OK here and then click on Close. Okay, let me see the next thing to do. I'm just looking at the PDF and my other monitor here. Okay, that was all the first things to get done. So we're ready to restart the server now. So I need to reboot it for all of those changes to take effect. So I click on the Windows button and then Power, and then click on Restart and click on Continue. This will take a few minutes to reboot. So I'll pause the video again and I'll see you again when the server comes back up. Okay, the server has rebooted, so I need to send Control-Alt-Delete to log in again. So I click on Player, send Control-Alt-Delete, and enter my password again. And then Server Manager is going to start up by default again. And when it does, I'm going to click on the link to add roles and features. I need to give this a second actually while it's collecting inventory data. So let's try again on add roles and features. There we go. Don't have to wait too long. Okay, next thing I do is just see this welcome message and then click on next. Next, it is going to be role-based or feature-based installation. I click on next there. Then on the next page, I accept the defaults where it's on my WinA server that I'm working on right now and click next. And then I want to have my server running as a DNS server. So I will select that and then click on add features and then click on next. And then, let me see what I'm doing on the next page. I just click next again on here, and then click on next again, and then install to install the DNS server running on this Windows machine. This will take a little bit of time to complete the installation. So I'll pause the video again here, and I'll come back when the DNS server installation is done. Okay, I can see that the installation succeeded on WinA, so we're good. I can click on Close now. And then I need to add another role. So that's the DNS server added. I want to configure the server as an Active Directory domain controller as well. So I clicked on Add Roles and Features again there. Click Next on the welcome page. It's role-based or feature-based installation. Click on Next. Then accept the current server. Click on Next. And I want to add in here Active Directory Domain Services. I click on that. And then click on Add Features. Then click on Next. On the next page, click next again, and then click on install. And this will install Active Directory Domain Controller for me. This will take a minute or so as well. So I'll pause the video again, see you when it's done. Okay, I can see that installation succeeded on WinA. So I will click close now, and I need to reboot the server at this point. So I will restart again, and again I'll pause the video, come back when the server has rebooted. Okay, server is back up again, so I will send Control-Alt-Delete and then enter my password to log in. And when I log in, I'm going to wait for Server Manager to open up, and I'm going to see that it's going to give me a warning message. So I just need to give this a second. There we go. We can see there's the yellow warning triangle. So I click on that notification. It says I still need to do some work for my Active Directory. So I click on the link to promote this server to a domain controller. Then I'm going to choose to add a new forest. So I click on that. And then the root domain name is going to be FLACKBOX'S.lab. Then I click on next. Then on the next page, where it asks me for the directory services restore mode password, I will click in there when the mouse goes active and set the same password again, which was FLACKBOX1 with a capital F, and then click on next. Then on the DNS delegation page and the warning message, I can ignore this and click on next. Then for the NetBIOS domain name, this should be automatically populated. If I wait for it, it should come up with the same DNS domain name again. There it is. And then I can click on next again. For all of the locations, I can leave the default and click on next. And then that is everything just about done. Click on next again. I will get some warnings in here. That's okay. It's normal. So I'm ready now. I can click on install. It will complete the installation and then it will automatically reboot. I'll see you when it comes back up. Okay, that's our server back up again. We've got Windows installed. We've configured it as a DNS server and an Active Directory domain controller. Just a couple more things to do. So I will log back in again. Just type my password in here. And then when it's logged in, I'll wait for Server Manager to start up again. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to disable the Windows firewall. Now, that's not necessarily something you would want to do in a production environment, but here where we've got our NetApp ONTAP lab and we're playing with the storage features, I don't want to have to waste time troubleshooting and find out it was just because the Windows firewall was enabled if something isn't working. So I'm just going to go ahead and disable the firewall. So to do that, I click on Tools in Server Manager. And then the one that I am looking for in here is Windows Firewall with Advanced Security. So I click on that, then click on Properties over on the right, and the firewall state, I'm going to click on the drop down and I'm going to turn the firewall off and then click on OK. And I can now come out of my firewall settings. Okay, that was the last thing that we needed to do to build our WinA server. So what I can do now is go up to the player menu and power and suspend the guest. And let me just drag this over and say, yes, I do want to suspend it. Okay, and the last thing to do is to also build the WinB server. So just looking at the PDF here, you do all exactly the same thing for the WinB server as well. The only differences are pretty obvious. It's called WinB rather than WinA, and the IP address is 172.23.5.1, and the domain is FLACKBOX'S.lab. So you can go ahead and build the WinB server as well. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you want to get hands-on practice with NetApp storage, you can download my free How to Build a NetApp Lab for Free ebook. It's got full step-by-step instructions on how to build a complete NetApp lab, and best of all, you can run it all for free on your laptop. And if you want to get my complete NetApp course, which covers everything you need to know about NetApp storage, you can check out the other video that you can see here too. Thanks.